Hello and welcome, executives and chairmen. I'm Jacob. I'm excited to present to you my strategic analysis for Skechers. So today I'm going to dive into the challenges that Skechers faces in the highly competitive footwear industry. As we know, it's no stranger to challenges, from fierce competition to extreme market saturation. Skechers encounters several hurdles on a day-to-day basis. One of the primary challenges that Skechers grapples with is differentiation. In an industry where trends come and go, standing out from a crowd can be quite the feat. There are countless brands vying for consumer attention and market percentage. However, Skechers needs to find innovative ways to carve out their niche. Additionally, the market saturation poses a significant obstacle for Skechers. There's an abundance of footwear options available to consumers, and breaking through and capturing that market is quite daunting. Additionally, I found that cost competitiveness is another challenge Skechers faces in an area where consumers are increasingly price conscious. Maintaining competitive pricing while ensuring quality and sustainability is no easy task. Additionally, supply chain flexibility. In today's rapid changing business landscape, having a flexible and agile supply chain is crucial for adapting to market demands, and that has never been highlighted more than through the global pandemic. But there is some solutions on the horizons. Firstly, I found that Skechers can implement a circular supply chain approach to tackle these challenges head on. By embracing sustainability and eco-friendly practices, Skechers can differentiate itself from competitors, attract environmentally conscious consumers, and reduce market saturation. It can optimize their resources and minimize waste, which will enhance cost competitiveness, and investing in it will improve customer satisfaction and help garner a greater market share, and also allow for a more flexible supply chain. It can promote innovation and adaptability, assuring it stays ahead of the curve in the rapidly evolving footwear industry. When I first started this project, I wanted to look at the footwear industry overall so I could better understand the market and competition. Some of the key issues I found are the threat of substitutes and the intensity of rivalry. For my strategic analysis of the Porter Five Forces, I found that, as you can see, it's highlighted here, the overall intensity of rivalry is 4, and the overall threat of substitutes is 4, bringing up the overall attractiveness of the industry to 3.47. While that might not be terrible, it is something that Skechers should be aware of. Due to the overwhelming amount of copycats I found in the industry, almost every shoe brand seems to copy their competitors. When something seems to be on the rise, other shoe brands will just copy it. And it's really hard to defend or differentiate your property, your intellectual property. And that just makes it easy for competitors just to copy, or even some might say steal your designs. Also, the intensity of rivalry. I found that some websites pointed to over 500,000 plus footwear companies, whether that's online or retail, like your brick and mortar stores. But overall, it's an intense rivalry, and everyone's vying for that market power. Through my research, I was able to find that overall, it seems to be a small niche of like maybe a slightly higher up, but still Vans, Skechers, Adidas, Converse, all of these companies only have 1% or less of the market. The most, Nike has about 22%, but the rest is just filled with small e-commerce companies that have 0.01% of the market. But because there's so many of them, they're taking up a lot of the market share, and that's just extremely heavy saturation, and it's swallowing up the consumer base. Now, I conducted an overview, and I looked at the company's mission, resource and capability, external and internal alignment. But one thing I really want to highlight is their differentiation. Because they're in the future, the footwear industry, it has little to no differentiation from its competitors or almost any other shoe company, just because it's not due to lack of innovation, but it's due to the highly fragmented nature of the footwear market in general. I found that according to a transparency market research report, this market, or the footwear market, is characterized by a multitude of players across diverse segments and regions, contributing to intense competition and hindering distinct positioning for brands like Skechers. So when they come out with a new product line, there's hundreds of other e-commerce companies that have similar, if not almost exactly the same product. Moving forward, I conducted an external analysis, and I found that Skechers could gain a significant advantage by embracing a circular supply chain and sustainable initiatives. This strategic shift represents an opportunity for capturing more market shares, achieving long-term cost reduction, and enhancing brand reputation and overall differentiating them from their competitors. This seemed to be the best way due to all the different challenges that the footwear industry faces in general, the intellectual property rights and so on, and copycats. The best way to stand out is by doing something that will take its competitors, or not many of their competitors would be willing to follow. When conducting their internal analysis, this let me find out that they struggle with differentiation, and that they lacked the market power that they would need to be a top competitor in the industry. However, I found that by prioritizing sustainability initiatives and implementing a circular supply chain, it could address these challenges, and enable Skechers to tap into new and emerging market segments, and also create a more agile and adaptable supply chain infrastructure. Now on to the cost advantage of doing this. While it is hard to find like a precise range due to the variability in the industry and then like the company specific factors, but however, I found that studies suggest that companies transitioning to a circular supply chain could potentially achieve cost reductions ranging from 5% to 20% or more, depending on the extent of the circularity and the efficiency of gains realized. So when conducting my differentiation advantage analysis, I did a strategy canvas, and what I found is that the mainstream differentiators, comfort, durability, customization, low price, performance, and brand reputation, they don't work in this industry, just because of the market saturation and the rivalry. Everyone is competing that way. So the best way to differentiate itself is through doing something that its competitors aren't likely to follow, which is doing a circular supply chain. A circular supply chain, it aligns with a lot of the consumer preferences and the data that I was able to find. It would help capture the more environmentally conscious consumers and reduce the overall cost, and this would lead to a higher net promoter score and create like a positive feedback loop for Skechers. So as I've said continually throughout my report, and as all my data has suggested, I recommend that Skechers implement a circular supply chain. The implementation plan and the initiatives I recommend are a material recycling initiative, a product take-back programs, supply chain transparency, collaboration with suppliers and stakeholders, and a design for a durability and recyclability. The metrics and KPIs I focused on and gave examples of are financial, process, innovation, and customer metrics. You can read through that later, but just measurements that really apply to Skechers. So as I was saying, each of these initiatives or implementation plans for my recommendation, such as the material recycling initiative, I have their problems addressed as well as how I would address it in Skechers. So for the product take-back programs, this would target market saturation, lack of differentiation, and I would do that through this, providing customers with responsible end-of-life solutions. And then also the other is increased supply chain transparency. This would target the problems highlighted earlier of lack of differentiation and inflexible supply chain. This would enhance transparency, which would target appeal to the price conscious customers and the origins of their product. Lastly, by collaboration with suppliers and stakeholders, they target these problems and it fosters innovation and flexibility. and targets the quickly changing market demands. Lastly, the design for durability and recyclability. This is targeting the lifespan of products and facilitating a recycling process that will enhance cost competitiveness and sustainability. Thank you for listening to my presentation report. I hope you implement these changes that I recommend and see their usefulness and the overall strategy behind it.